ready for the debate showcase? Let me know.
Now here's the truth. There are far more gifted and amazing, hardworking debaters in this community than we can possibly honor on stage this afternoon. We are going to be bringing up 6 speakers who were nominated by their judges, but they are not the only ones who were. And we'll be bringing up a panel of special nominated students who will be the judges for this debate. But again, they were not the only ones nominated. If you are not on stage, it does not mean you are any less accomplished an orator or that we respect your opinions any less. In fact, we invite you to join this conversation after the showcase. Our mic stands will be set up, and we're going to invite every one of you who can, in the time we have, to share your thoughts on the motion at hand.
And that's what makes the debate showcase so special, right? It's not just about the debating, but it's also about our community kind of coming together, discussing a topic.
Discussing it from multiple angles from across the world. And while our debate showcases at every regional round are special, none is more special than the one here at the global round, where you might hear an opinion from a student in Japan or a student in the Czech Republic and see how they mesh, how they combine, how they build.
I see numerous Jerrys seemed to have fallen off heads. I want to see how long we can keep this. I want to see if there'll be Jerrys left by the end of the debate showcase. I want to see people go up to the mic with the Jerrys. And I've seen, hold on. I see some Jerrys in which the bandanas have been turned into turban-like headwear. Is that the case?
What, they've removed the handkerchiefs?
Right, and I see some Jerrys with T-shirts. You know, we should have a thing. We should see who can come up with the most creative Jerry design by the end of the tournament.
Our supplier offered to send these to us with like nurse hats and sailor caps, but we thought better to leave them bare so you could decorate them yourselves.
You know, do that, guys. Tonight or, tonight, tomorrow, before the event is over, dress up your Jerry, do something with your Jerry, take a picture, put it on the Facebook page.
Make your Jerry look like Birch.
Make your Jerry, give Jerry Birch hair, then give Jerry Zach hair, then whatever, Dan hair. All right, keep them up. Right. Second floor, there we go. We need some Jerrys on the upper mezzanine as well. All right. Who's ready to find out who's in the debate showcase? Y'all excited about that? All right, let's do this. Mr. Berdachevsky, tell us who are debating today.
Now, sitting here today will be the affirmative team. Over here, the negative team. We flip every so often, like Maslow's hierarchy. And our first affirmative speaker today joins us from the country of China.
I'm gonna make myself comfortable.
From the International School of Beijing. Sorry, Xinghua. Yunho Cha.
Come on, Yunho Cha.
Birch, how about you take number 2?
I would like to take number 2, but I'm sitting here reclining. I'm relaxed here,
Please
guys.
bring anything you'll need to prepare for the debate at hand.
All right. Where's Yunho Cha? He's here? All right.
If you're going to relax there, I'm going to relax here.
I look relaxed. I'm trying to... Okay, we're all going to recline here on... There we go. This is a new style of hosting, guys. It's called the Pua style. Pua. It's not da-da.
Tell us who the speaker is, Mr. Birch.
All right, from the chairs, from the country of Japan, make some noise. I want to welcome from Senzoku Gakuen Junior High School, Arisa Kawano. Come on down. I have successfully warmed all of your seats simultaneously.
I didn't do quite as good a job at the other end. Our third speaker on the affirmative team, closing out the positive squad in today's debate showcase, is from the United States of America.
USA!
From Quail Valley Academy.
A blank screen. These screensavers sometimes, we're like, screensaver.
From Quail Valley Academy, Brady Sanders.
Come on down, Brady. We have called 3 names, and yet no one has materialized. Are you Brady? Come on up. Let's let you through these. Can we let him through? Yeah, come through there. We got 2. We're still, where's our Japanese delegation representative?
Are we missing Japan?
We are missing Japan.
Japan's on her
Where's
way.
Japan? Hey, Japan!
Welcome, Arisa. Everyone, one more round of applause for your affirmative team.
All right, guys, take a seat. You guys can do whatever order. You guys know how this goes. And then you are so good at timing. It just shut down. And ladies and gentlemen, on your negative team, though they themselves may not be negative people, from the country of Bahrain, from the, a little bit of identity issue, but from the British School of Bahrain, Bayan Al-Tarabi. Come on down from the upper mezzanine, I guess.
Please come safely.
Please come down safely.
Alpacas are soft but are not a good landing pad.
Unless you have like a zip line or something, or like
I was thinking that would have been a good opening for you, Birch.
have a zip line. That would be so awesome.
There was one at Sentosa we could have taken.
You know, I talked to a friend who I guess is not a zoologist per se, but who's like really into animals, and he was just kind of like lamenting the whole time that
Like a pet owner?
just someone who's like really into like I guess like taxonomy and such, and he was lamenting how he really likes spiders, and he's mad at how people confuse spiders with other bugs because they're arachnids and not other insects. And then he continues to go on and starts ranting about how Spider-Man, as a hero, is incorrect because he's not supposed to have webs coming out of his wrists, right? So then I was like, so if he's supposed to be anatomically correct, what is he supposed to do? Shoot like a web out of his like...
I think so, Birch. I think so.
He'd be like... And then he'd be swinging like from his like hip or something.
I don't think fart-to-man is the
I know, that's
is the way
not,
to go
that's not, I was
here.
like, that doesn't make sense.
Uh,
All right, so that's our first speaker. Hi. All right, who's next,
Welcome.
Daniel?
Our second speaker on the negative team joins us from the country of Thailand, from Wales International School, Suraj Mirchandani. Suraj, are you in the house? I see you. Come on up.
You know, sometimes names amaze me. I met my first group of, I was talking to some of the, I guess the people who were leading you guys in the scavenger hunts yesterday. I was doing a roll call. For the first time in my life, I met someone who had like, I was reading a name and I'm like, da-da-da-da-da, D/O. And I was like, what's D/O?
Indecision.
No, it's like you pronounce that daughter of. I'm like, you have a slash in your name? Do you guys know people with like daughter ofs or like sons of, like S/O? That's crazy. Yeah, the name is so long. We should.
I can't deal with any more letters than mine.
I'm gonna name my child Son of Birch.
I can totally see that.
That's just what I'm gonna call it, Son of Birch. Oh, but that's bad.
Why is that bad,
Because then they'd
Birch?
be an SOB. And that's bad. I didn't think about that. I'm not
Birch,
gonna
you just walked yourself into your own noose.
I'm not gonna name my child that. That's bad. Okay, I'm not gonna do that.
You're lucky I'm not so sharp today.
Thank you guys. Thank you guys for helping me process that one. That was, I dodged a bullet there.
And our third speaker, to help you dodge the bullet further, comes to us from down under in Australia.
Aussie, Aussie, Aussie!
From our host school of the Perth round, Shenton College, Michelle Lamb. And Michelle, show yourself.
We should officially rename her, not Lamb, but like Michelle Alpaca.
Michelle.
She's the wrong quadruped.
At least they all have 4 legs. All right, while we wait for Michelle to come on stage, let's call. Oh, here she is.
Are you Michelle? Hi, Michelle.
Welcome, Michelle. Everyone.
Michelle Alpaca is her new name. She's not a lamb, she's an alpaca now.
Your negative team, please stand and be acknowledged. And now the judges for today's debate, the special panel of nominated speakers. You might also think of them as honorable mentions in that they too might well have been on stage if one thing or another had just gone slightly differently, including our computer sorting. They are Nuri Choi. Oh, they're all on screen. Drew Datani.
Sarika Mabubani.
Angela Lin.
Chauncey Lowe.
May Murakami Smith.
Ashwin Srikarth.
Rory Lonergan.
Wenzi Lin.
And Ashley Wu.
Come on down.
Please take seats in the front row, which has been reserved for the panel. Our timer for today's debate will be last year's Coach of the Year from North London Collegiate School, Jeju, Mr. Frank Hardy, and his able assistant, new Jerry 2.1, Jerry 2.2.
Can we just go through like a very clear list here? So this is Jerry 2.0, correct?
2.0,
2.0,
2.1,
2.1,
Giant
Jerry,
Interloper,
Interlope.
and the two ducks. One duck. Don't know what happened to the other one.
This is a duct tape. This is duct tape duck. And then one for I don't know where it went, but we had Peking duck at one time.
Oh, for the ball tonight. Last thought before we see the motion. Last year we took a giant duck to the ball, and it was torn to pieces. Students threw it around the room.
Right. First, it was bouncing around the room like a ball.
Yeah.
And then
A ball at the ball.
And then at some point, someone got
Angry.
Wolverine rage, and then and then just ripped the whole thing to shreds.
We didn't have smoke effects last year, but we
Maybe
had
they wanted Peking duck. They were hungry.
We did. We had duck feathers.
We did. We have
everywhere.
fluff. We had fluff just flying around.
This year, if you want to bring your alpacas tonight, please do, but beware, they may not survive.
You have to guard them.
And now, Birch, would you like to introduce the motion?
Y'all want to hear the motion? I say, y'all want to hear the motion? Resolved.
After we see the motion, you have 12 minutes to prepare. We'll have music on, and then we'll have our speakers. And the motion is, Grace, hit it.
That schools should let students elect their own principal.
You have 12 minutes to prepare. Audience, please think about what you would like to share during the session following the debate. And sound booth, if we could have music, please.
Time's too fast, I can't let go. I'm holding tight, I'm in slow-mo. So close your eyes and lose control. Oh, don't hold back, I'll lead the show.
One thing I'll say straight to your face, I'm not on this earth to take up space. I came to rock, I came to roll. You came for bills, I came for gold. I came to scream, I came to break. I'll leave my mark, make no mistake. Cause I'm the greatest, I'm stupendous. I'm incredible, I'm tremendous. I'm as real as it gets, you're just pretending. I'm fighting back, you're defending. I'm flying high, you're descending. I can feel it, man, my will is strengthened. So make a choice then, take a stand, man. My victory's guaranteed, yours is pending. Dreams are only meant for the relentless. Go ahead, take a chance, just attempt it.
Tonight will be endless. I'll leave you so breathless. I don't want to end this.
At this point, the preparation is over. Our two teams are nervous but ready. We're excited to hear what they have to say. Let's invite our first affirmative speaker to the microphone to begin the debate. Please be sure to introduce yourself, and you'll receive a time signal from Frank with a giant alpaca, mid-sized giant alpaca.
Okay. Hello, I am the first speaker of the affirmative team. I would like to start by defining the meaning of the motion. We first, elect is to choose someone to do a particular job. students are people who are studying at a university or college, and principals are people who are in charge of the college or university. Moving on to the first point, we believe that if students are allowed to elect their own principals, it will benefit not only the entire school, but the entire country, because we will be educating the students to learn how to vote for a right leader, for a leader that will help them as a whole. The students will be voting when they're 18, or it depends on the country, and it will make the whole country in general just a stronger place, because a lot of the time in undeveloped countries, what happens is that children aren't educated to choose the right leaders, and that is why their government does not make the right decisions for their people. And so in order to make this country's whole government a stronger government that is for the people, we need to teach students how to elect these right leaders from a young age. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that beginning of the speech, of the argument. We'll now have 1 minute for the negative team to prepare its response. Could we have music for 1 minute, please? Vivian. And now it is time for the first speaker on the negative team to come forward and share their argument. Please introduce yourself. Our timer will begin when you start speaking. One.
A leader is one who knows the way, goes the way, and shows the way. By John C. Maxwell. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Bayan Al-Tarabi, and I'm the first speaker of the negative team. And we believe that schools shouldn't let students elect their own principals because it simply won't be fair. First of all, I'd like to start off with a bit of rebuttal. Your first speaker mentioned that we should let students vote because it teaches them how to make their own decisions. However, what if they vote for a bad principal? What are they going to benefit from that? What are they going to learn? And governments do check who is qualified to be a principal in schools. And I'd like to point out that we are talking about all students, not just university students. Each and every one of you people are students. All students are from age 3 to 18. How are 3-year-olds supposed to make decisions? I will split up, we were gonna split up our arguments into 2 points, political and social. Our first point is political. As you can see, America is suffering because they use democracy. And with a large population, especially in schools, it won't be fair. This is because if a majority chooses the bad, the minorities won't benefit. So if, for example, only 30% choose one person, it might be more than the rest, and they might still win. However, they might not benefit the school. And with one principal, it's more fair because no one chooses. So even those who want and don't want him, they both end up with the same thing. It's fair. And they get to work as a team, united, and they become stronger, and they learn quicker. My second point is social. Some students might elect who they like. For example, a principal might bribe them or manipulate them. Some might be persuasive, and some might not. However, they might not always choose the one who's qualified. They might just choose ones who buy them candy or give them good grades. And by doing this, it won't really benefit the students themselves. I'd like to end my debate with restating my case line. We believe that schools shouldn't let their students elect their own principals because it simply won't be fair. Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together, the second speaker for the affirmative team. Let's go. All right, you have 4 minutes. You may begin when you are ready. Oh, first you have to be tall, make the mic tall. Here, let me help you.
Just a little taller. Just to tap it. Not too tall.
Now the mic is exactly my height. All right, you have 4 minutes. You may begin when you're ready.
Honorable Judge, respected opposition, and distinguished members of the audience. I am Yoonho Cha, the second speaker of the affirmative side that schools should let students elect their own principals. Before turning to our team's points, first I would like to rebut some of the incorrect points that the opposition has stated. The opposition's first speaker has stated several times that voting in such a procedure for schools will be unfair. However, the voting procedure in the schools that will be adopted is a form of democracy. And democracy is based from the cornerstones of fairness and equality. Did you know that? Turning to our team's points, schools should let students elect their own principals because it will create better relations between students, teachers, and principals. First, if students elect their own principals, the teachers that have adopted teachers that have the students that elected the principals in their classrooms, it is highly likely that the teachers will have a higher deference or higher respect for the principals themselves. And then, ultimately, that will help teachers teach students better because of the higher deference, and ultimately, resulting in better education of the students themselves. And who doesn't want better education, guys? And before concluding, I would like to say a quote said by Anonymous. Teachers open the door. However, students enter in themselves. This just says teachers are the gateway to student success. And that allowing students to elect their own principals is just another step for their own students' success. Thank you for allowing me to prove to you guys that schools should and must let students elect their own principals. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. All right, 60 seconds to the negative team. Can we get some music on, please? Ladies and gentlemen, please show some love for the second speaker on your negative team. Okay, now we're gonna make it short again. All right, you have 4 minutes. You may begin when you're ready.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I am the second speaker from the negative side. And I first come here, I'm going to start with a few rebuttals. The affirmative side said that if the students get elect their own principals, the principals will select good teachers, so then the students can be more open with. The students might like the principals, they'll enjoy, have more fun in school. But I've come here to ask you, what if the students don't elect the right principals? They're still young. They're only 3 to 18 years old, and the government side, the affirmative side, never re-challenged the motion definition of the motion we set up that students are only 3 to 18 years old. So they do agree with that. So what if they don't select the right principal? What if they don't select the right principal? They will go to school, and then the only thing they'll do is have free time. They won't learn. They'll end up enjoying the first few years of their life, and then they grow up and they're gonna suffer because they didn't get good education. They never got to study properly, and they don't get a good job now. Is that what we want today? No, we want our students to graduate from the best universities in the world. So that's a flaw in their arguments. And now, I want to bring up the tragedy of the commons. The tragedy of the commons is when people choose for their own benefits. They choose what they want, not what's best for everyone. They only choose what's best for them. And as we can see in the Nash equilibrium, it's what's best for you and for the group that helps everyone. It helps you and everyone the most. So that's the flaw in their arguments. And it's going to develop from popularity and people are gonna choose who's their close friends and not who's gonna help them the most. They might be bullied, they might be threatened, they might be forced into choosing that person. They might be manipulated. They can be manipulated in many ways. Through even like what we learn in psychology in the subjects. If someone keeps repeating it, keeps telling them something over and over, week by week, to vote for me, I can do this for you, can do that for you. It's gonna be in their head that if I do this, it's gonna help me. But they don't see the risks that come with them. They only see the few benefits. But if they look at they turn it around, it's a whole lot of risks, and it's gonna be bad for everyone, not themselves and everyone. Is that what we want today in our schools? Every single one over here is a student. Do you want to go to school and not have fun? And it's like not fun. It's not. It's only gonna be free time. You think it's gonna be good, but it's not. It's just hell. It's just torture for you later. So that's what the negative side wants to ask the affirmative side. And now about democracy. They said democracy was helpful, but the democracy didn't work for the Greeks. They didn't work for the Romans. It didn't work. They don't work for many modern countries today. So do we want to keep practicing that? Do you want it not work again and again? When are we going to learn from mistakes, people? Thank you.
All right. Everyone, please show some love to the last speaker on the affirmative team. Yo, you're from the USA, so I hope you have something to say about this democracy, man. All right, let's go. You have 4 minutes. You may begin when you're ready.
Okay, my name is Brady Sanders from Quail Valley Middle School in the GT Academy in Houston, Texas, in America. And I'd like to start off with some rebuttal against my team, or my opponents, and what they said. Okay, I'd like to talk first to the first speaker. She says that a principal might bribe them with good grades and good candy. Well, that's illegal. If a principal bribes them with grades and changes their grades, that's against the law, and they will be thrown in jail. Okay, for the second speaker, you said that the principals pick the teachers, so what if the principals pick bad teachers? What we meant when we said our speech is not that the principals will help pick better teachers. We meant that the teachers will have better relationships with the principals because the principal will be elected by the students. And you said 3 to 18 years old is too young to vote. Well, when you're 16, you can vote in most countries. So 16, 17, 18 is the normal age. If I go to vote right now, I would be ready. I'm 13. 13, 14, 15 up, I could be ready to vote when I'm 8. 8 through 16, I could vote. 8 through 18, I could vote. It's not young. Now, you also said that students could get a bad job and a bad education. Well, students take part in almost 50% of their own education. Students can choose to slack off in class and choose to sleep in class, or they can choose to take notes and study and prepare for tests. Students can choose their education. And students are not necessarily going to pick the fun principals, the ones that get drunk and all that stuff. They're gonna pick the principals, maybe what's best for them is academically. Maybe they wanna pick the principal that's more academically gonna help them because they think that's what's best for them. And you said that democracy will have negative effects and that democracy has negative effects. Well, there's another side to that coin. Democracy also has good effects. Democracy has great effects. Now, that's all my rebuttal, and now I'm going to recap what my team said and how we think that you should definitely choose, no, you have to choose our side for this argument. Because that students picking their own principals will help financially, and it'll help socially, and it'll help with all these things, and students will have better education, better lives, better jobs, better education. I think I said that. They're just gonna have this awesome, it's gonna be amazing for them, and students are just gonna have this wonderful lifestyle, and it is definitely for the better. Thank you.
All right, everyone, last speaker, negative team, give it up.
Okay.
All right, you have 4 minutes.
Good afternoon, respected judges, the worthy opposition, and the audience. My name is Michelle Lam, and I am the third speaker of the negative team, and I am arguing here today to tell you that schools should not allow students to elect their own principals. And why? Because it is simply unjust, unfair, and leaves students and teachers alike open to manipulation. I will be rebutting their team's points and summarizing my own team's. First of all, I'd like to rebut the first speaker's points. She said, all students should be allowed to vote. But we defined students as being from ages 3 to 18. Now, looking at 3-year-olds, all they are concerned with is playing. And as a 3-year-old, I can say the only thing I was concerned with was what was next for lunch. So, how can they accurately decide what principal should be best for them? How can they decide what education they should look for? How can they vote when the standards, as the third speaker said, should be upped to our presidential elections, which must be enforced by law? Also, their second speaker proposed that allowing an election between students and teachers would strengthen relationship. However, this is completely not true. Teachers would manipulate, threaten, bully students in order to be elected to that hailed position as principal. Students themselves would manipulate teachers through, I'll vote for you and you just give me an A. It just doesn't work. The tragedy of the commons, something we at World Scholars Cup has studied, has proved time and time again that manipulation always happens when you leave things open to the public. The third speaker also said that an election would help the school financially. This, however, doesn't make sense. Where is your proof? How does an election help a school financially? Looking at it, an election would cost even more, especially if we were hold it up to the rigorous standards of elections. And yes, he also once again talked about the age. 8-year-olds are old enough to vote. As an 8-year-old, I can be there. I know how it feels. I want to have my opinions out there. I want to have a say in where my life is going. But the other thing is, 8-year-olds are also vulnerable. They are children. They are open to bully, harassment, peer pressure. There are people out there who commit suicide because they feel so pressured to do something that everybody else tells them to do. Having an election where teachers would have to fight for principal, it just makes it worse on them. Do we really want to enforce this sort of thing on the children? Finally, it has been shown that, as our first speaker said, democracy doesn't work, especially in the terms of school, and leaves students and teachers alike open for manipulation. My second speaker has also spoken on the points that not only teachers will manipulate the system, but through the tragedy of commons, students will as well. So as you can see, the idea that students and teachers should be up for election as principal is a horrible, horrible idea, and I hope you agree with us. Thank you.
All right. Everyone, scholars, can we give a round of applause to all our debaters today on stage? I learned something valuable today. I learned that there's a phrase that evidently is the most menacing phrase. It's not the word espionage, it's the word tragedy of commons. Because every time they said it, you guys are like, oh. So, all right. Hey, this is a community discussion, right, Dan?
Exactly.
So we want to hear you guys. We got mics there. We got mics there. Do we have mics up top, possibly?
We do. We have mics on the top floor as well. Please form a line at each stand. Of course, we won't be able to hear from everyone, but we'll do our best to get opinions in the air.
So guys, please be orderly about this. We'll try to get in as many comments as possible. And also, guys, the honorable judges are going to go off and discuss. So give a round of applause for the judges, y'all. All right, so let's start over here with this gentleman. Please, guys, introduce yourself. Tell us what country, school you're from, and please keep your statement under a minute. Can we get the microphones on? Is it on? You want to talk into it? Can we get this microphone on?
You can use mine for now.
All right.
Yay! So I would just
like to correct the factual error made by the first speaker of the opposition. She has said that America is a democracy. However, doesn't she realize that the president is elected through an electoral college, and there has been times where the president has actually won despite losing the popular vote? And second of all, only 2 political parties are allowed in the elections or even have ballot access. In fact, many of the times, third parties are excluded from the elections, and would you call that a democracy?
Thank you very much for your words. Let's hear from the mic stand over there. Is that on yet?
Is it on?
Perfect. Please introduce yourself, your thoughts, and your alpaca.
Good afternoon. My name is Jake from Jumeirah Primary School in Dubai. I'm sorry if I sound nervous because I'm only 11. Anyway, I would like to question something that the second speaker for the negative said, that democracy does not work. Now, the very ideals of democracy, fairness and equality are the cornerstones of human morals. The very idea of democracy itself is a cornerstone as well. It's the actual democracy, the actual voting itself that is incorrect. As democracy today, politics, even in schools, is so very corrupt that the wrong party will always win the vote because of one reason, and that is corruption. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Wow.
There are...
It was so bad that he was like without words. He couldn't find the right word to describe how bad it was.
Guys, there are so many of you that want to join this conversation. We want to hear from many of you as possible. So please try to keep your remarks to under a minute if you can. We'll give you little eye signals. They'll be awkward, but they'll help jog you along if necessary.
Very good morning. I'm Keertina from the Indian High School, Dubai. And I'd like to just clarify about the tragedy of the commons. It is basically this idea that each individual works for his own interest, and in that process, the whole group does not benefit. In fact, they lose as a team. So what I'd like to clarify here is that the team Affirmative had in fact talked about tragedy of the commons as being related to the students manipulating their teachers' votes, like give me an A and I'll vote for you. That does not work here. This is like many students are voting for their own choices, and all their choices are individually good for them, and overall it's bad. That's the idea of tragedy of commons, and it does not really apply to this context, even though it's been repeated many times. That's just what I wanted to clarify. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hey guys.
I want to try something a little bit different. I counted about 45 of you in line downstairs. I can't even see the upper deck. We're clearly not going to go through 45 speeches. But what if I asked all of you who are in line to distill your thoughts into one perfect sentence? And then we can have like a speed dating, but with thoughts.
What?
That didn't quite work. It made more sense in my head.
I think you need to form your perfect sentence too.
But yes, let's take about 20 seconds, and then let's start, and let's have a key sentence from each of you.
I want to challenge you guys. From now on, whenever any teacher or anyone says tragedy of commons, you have to go, ooh. So like, one day in history class, your teacher's teaching tragedy of commons, you just stop and go, ooh. And they'll be like, what's, ooh. All right, who's up next?
Let's start back where we began. You're going to say a sentence. We're going to flip to the back, then front, and go in a square. Counterclockwise.
It's more like a rhombus, but...
Trapezoid.
Trapezoid.
To the top.
Up there in the green.
Let's use fewer ands.
What Team Affirmatives has been talking about is how students selecting their own printing principle... There's a delay between the mic and the speakers.
That's just distance.
What Team Affirmative has been talking about is the fact that if students elect their own principals, it will be a free world. What they've forgotten about is that in some schools, it's actually the shareholders of the school who have a higher authority. And even if the students do elect their own principals, that won't be the final decision. And ultimately, it's the shareholders who make the final decision. So allowing students to elect their own principals will not create a free school. Thank you.
Thank you. And how many of you here attend schools where shareholders vote for their leaders? Let me see some hands.
So I guess the strategy for you guys is to make a lot of money, then buy the school, and then you can.
That was always my plan with the LA Clippers. It didn't work out. Someone else got them.
Hey, don't hate on the Clippers. It's
Yeah,
not their fault.
good team. All right, top deck opposite us, Kitty Cat Corner.
Hello, I'm from Anglo-Singapore International School, Bangkok. I would just like to make a point that I think that the fact that the government doesn't trust their own people who are below 18 years of age to vote, and that the fact that there are guardians to to protect these kids and make decisions for them already shows that these kids are not rational enough to make their own decisions. So why should they be able to define their own future if they're going to only do it without rationality?
Thank you up there.
Who here believes that people who are under 18 are able to make their own decisions, are able to vote? Who thinks that people under 18 are not yet equipped to do so?
Who thinks Birch and I should be allowed to vote? Okay, about half and half.
Who of you guys would elect us to be principal of a school?
Some wouldn't. The teachers are clearly not voting for us.
No, definitely not. I wouldn't vote for myself.
All right, down here.
I'm ready. Hello, my name is Barack Obama. I love you back. Now, some of them have been saying that America is falling. I disagree. In fact, they're saying that people voting is not fair. Well, that sounds like a communist to me. And in the words of one of my predecessors, Ronnie Reagan, better dead than red. Thank you.
My friends, that was a perfect sentence.
Thank you, Mr. President. You have a nice Facebook page. We looked at that before, and yes, we can. All right.
Over here, please.
Hi, I'm Chelsea Liu from ISV, the International School of Beijing, and I'd like to point out that the resolution does not explicitly state that students will be required to cast a vote, only that they're allowed to if they wish. And furthermore, the negative side argued that students should be allowed to elect their own principals because younger students, the negative side argued that students should not be allowed to elect their own principals because younger students are not mature enough to take control of their education. However, this view assumes that students from ages 3 to 18, as defined by the negative side, had the same amount of power in electing their leader and that each vote will have the same weight. Thank you.
Thank you. And that actually makes me wonder, listening to these speeches and all this talk of democracy, how many people here think they live in a democracy? How many people here think they do not live in a democracy? Very interesting.
Wow.
Very interesting.
They're so cynical at a young age.
That or they're from the United States, apparently.
Well, it's okay, because we're Alpaca Nation right here.
Up to the top of Alpaca Nation.
Hello, my name is Eli Baum, and I'm going to from YCIS Shanghai, Yucheng International School, and I'm about to say what I'm about to say as seriously as I can with an alpaca on my head.
Can you let go of it with your hand for just a second? Oh, so sorry. Good. Okay, back to your sentence.
So a positive side was very, very happy about how they said if the principal tries to cheat, he will be immediately imprisoned. However, would he be immediately imprisoned? Time lost in public schools is time that cannot be regained. Sorry, the delay is horrible. And the process of electing a principal, finding a principal, imprisoning a principal, and getting a new principal would take a lot of time. So in total, to sum it up, I would like to say that allowing people to elect their own principals goes against a school's principles.
Nicely put.
Nice.
Yeah.
And this issue, we've had a couple people mention the issue of the delay in sound. I don't know if any of you guys are interested in acoustic engineering or anything, but it's kind of a little bit of a thought exercise. When I say something, sound takes time to travel to your ear. By the time you hear it, it's in the past. I said it already.
That's very profound.
I know. I try to be
But
profound.
more practically speaking, we can't hear the delay. So for us, the acoustics are great down here, at least up on stage. Please keep feeling comfortable as you speak.
I just want to point out that there was one crucial thing that wasn't included in this debate, which I think should have been, was that the fact that the moment a principal would be elected, they immediately become accountable to the students who elected them. And I think that in leadership, I think the aspect of accountability is something important, and that can only be brought about in a democratic system. I think that the needs of the many would really, in this case, outweigh the needs of the few. That's it.
Thank you.
Looks like we have time for only a couple more speakers. I'm so sorry about that. At this point, please try to keep your remarks to under 14 words, and we'll see if we can get through at least a few of you. 14 words or fewer. Right there.
Hi, good evening. My name is Ananya Mirchandani, and today I...
You had to have a long name. I'm kidding. Please carry on.
Sorry. No. I'm providing evidence for the negative team. In Scholars Cup, we learned that our prefrontal cortex as students, 13 to 18 roughly, only develops properly to the age of 25. Hence, saying that children have more neurons than adults do, causing us to have mixed emotions, allowing us to have having unstable thoughts, having unstable ideas and comments to well enough to choose a principal. So I'd like to end that with a rhetorical question saying, do you know where you have to go with your life? And do you think you can choose the right principal? Because with our prefrontal cortex underdeveloped, we don't have that certain amount of privilege.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Birch, you want to take the last speakers while I prepare for the verdict?
Sure, no problem. I mean, my prefrontal cortex, I don't know if it ever develops.
You know, it starts declining around age 35.
All right, over here. Introduce yourself.
Hello. Okay, so I'll try to keep this as short as possible. I'm Gautaman from Malaysia. I'm in a mixed team. Yeah, Malaysia. Malaysia boleh. All right,
Okay, no, I'm just kidding.
Firstly, just like to mention Dan for Praz, because we all know he has graduated from Harvard for public policy, and is portraying his abilities in WSC itself. Moving on, I feel that the debate should move on to the next level, where we say that we pass by upon the justification of democracy and tell that it should be majority versus minority. Like I say that the government should go about telling that they should provide a mechanism by saying that the school should elect a number of candidates to be chosen by the students. So the only hardline case that this whole motion runs by is that the government should propose this motion because the students will be able to have better emotional ties with the principal. So this is what the debate should be about, right? The debate should be about how the respect of the children and the principal can be overruled by the vulnerabilities of the children to point out the flaws of this system. So basically, it's just the rights of the people to choose versus the utilitarian benefit of the school. So just wanted to bring this debate to the next level. Thank you. Malaysia.
All right, thank you very much. Do we have time for anyone else, or should we go to the judges?
I am afraid we should go to the judges.
All right, we're going to go to the judges. Everyone make some noise for the judges.
For those of you who did not have a chance to speak tonight, there's 2 more opportunities. There'll be another debate showcase tomorrow morning, of course. And you should also, we're going to post this topic on our blog tonight. If you could put your remarks and thoughts there, I would love to see this community discussion continue well into the evening and beyond. For now, though, let me present the panel and their verdict. Please, to the microphone.
Hello. So before we start, we'd just like to applaud both teams for a very good effort. I like the amount of passion they put in, so clapping, yay. Okay, so for my speech, for the feedback I'm going to be giving, I'm dividing it into more content-based clashes, and then they will go on to comment on their style and strategy. Right, so I divided this debate into 2 major clashes. Firstly, can students make decisions? And number 2, if they can make decisions, what is the impact it has on them? So the first speaker of side opposition came up here and said, well, kids are kids. They can't decide what they want to do, without really telling us why, right? They didn't really go into this analysis. Like maybe they don't have that aspect of like retrospective thinking, like they don't know what's good for them. But at the same time, we didn't feel like Prop really responded to that. We felt like they could have said, oh, we set a criteria so that a random hobo on the street can't become our principal, so that I can't be our principal, you know? Like maybe the board could elect certain individuals and then they could be nominated, and then you could elect them from those individuals. And also, it happens anyway, right? Well, usually a school board elects the principal. I'm pretty sure our school's principal was democratically elected by the school board. Sorry, Dr. Brown, but yeah, it's the truth. The second clash that we had is what is the impact that it has on students? So they came up with this idea, and they sounded a lot like the United States and like George Bush's speeches when they said, democracy is good for everyone and representation, again, without really telling us why, right? Because the thing is, as they pointed out, and they should have pointed out, students are more incentivized to work when they actually elected their leader. I'm sure all of us are happy to be here because we chose to be here. No one made us be here, at least I hope not. Sorry if you were made to be here. And also, again, they're accountable to students, so they won't just be neglecting their work. And secondly, this idea of like people are unable to decide because of the tragedy of the commons. Well, that is a fundamental flaw of democracy, right? But even if you elect a bad leader, you still elected them. The problem with America isn't democracy, it's just that sometimes they elect bad leaders. I'm sorry, the United States delegation, I don't mean to offend you. So exactly, even though you elect a bad leader, it is still your choice. And again, they should have said more exclusive to students, that children is an investment by the government, that children are an investment by parents, and therefore they have no authority to decide. So at the end of the day, this debate kind of came down to like the United States versus China. And let's see who won the debate. No offense to either of the delegations, you're both incredible.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Angela Lin. I'm from Dulwich College, Shanghai. First of all, I want to hear your opinion. How many of you thought that the debate should have gone to the affirmative? And how many of you thought that debate should have gone for the negative? Well, here we're going to give our opinions as judges. First of all, it was a really interesting debate for both of us. There were many things that we were impressed by, such as the charisma that the affirmative team showed, but the amount of evidence and the backup and structured arguments that the negative showed. However, one thing that we were looking more of was a different change of focus. The entire debate was sort of revolved around the idea of the benefits and disadvantages of democracy, which wasn't the focus that we were looking for. If we were to see this debate happen again, maybe it should have been more on the education of students and developing independent thinkers, rather than reviling the idea of democracy. And I think that's what we were looking for. But overall, we were really impressed, and we'll announce the decision in a few minutes. Thank you.
So the moment you've all been waiting for, hopefully. Just before we announce the winner, this debate was an amazing debate. Once again, can we give a round of applause for both sides, please? So the winner of this debate, this was really close, by the way, goes to the negative team. So can you give them a round of applause, please? And the affirmative team did really, really well. So thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, give it up for the debate showcase. So, this showcase featured a really entertaining debate, featured a Caucasian gentleman imitating Barack, I believe an Indian woman pretending to be George Bush. So this is all saying that we have the talent show coming up next. Are you guys ready for that? Guys, we need just a couple of minutes to set up. So give us about 5 minutes. Go to the bathroom real quick. Be back here. We're going to get started soon. Thank you, guys. Let's get some music.
So this is it, the moment I've been waiting for, the one I knew would come when everyone was hating on my fingers and 2 thumbs I was just hanging on. But now I'm at the top, and this is where I'm staying on. Cause I paid so fervently, blood, sweat, tears, they were my currency, doubts, scars, fears, they were curses.